Hey guys, Tina here, the Critical Virgo. Welcome back to another Fragrance Friday. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite designer fragrances. I actually mentioned it in my top 10 designer fragrances for life video. If you didn't check it out, I will put a clip to that at the end of this video. And we are talking about Carolina Herrera Good Girl. And this fragrance gets a lot of mixed reviews. You either love it or hate it. I hear a lot of people in the community not really feeling it, but a lot of people outside of it really digging it. It took me by surprise, and that is because white florals and I really don't get along. And I was pleasantly surprised when I tried this out. I put it on at Ulta, not knowing what to expect, walked around, really enjoyed it, and went with the small bottle. I've been buying the small bottles now for a while just because I have so many fragrances. It's really hard for me to go through a whole bottle of anything anymore. And I wish you could see through it. You really can't. I'm about halfway through the shoe. Again, this is the small bottle, so I think I'm going to pick up the larger one as a gift for myself, probably for the holidays. This is in, I don't know if you can see it, it looks black on camera, but it's actually like a really dark navy blue bottle and has a gold heel. The one thing about the smaller bottle that I do not like is the design of it. It actually comes apart like this, and if I leave it in my bag, then it pretty much just ends up being the lower part of the shoe and you don't have the heel at all, which is kind of annoying. With the larger sizes, the spray is actually at the top and you would just pump it out and it would come through the back of the shoe. So that's something to know if you are annoyed by this, because if you leave it on your table, sometimes it does separate and it is very annoying. So the notes on this: top of Sambac jasmine and tuberose crystal, a heart of velvet almond, and a base of Tonka bean, coffee, and cacao. It's a very sexy fragrance. When I smell this, I'm actually wearing a little bit of this right now. I get the white florals, but they're not like anything too crazy. Again, white florals and we have a bad history together. I don't know, maybe my nose is changing, I'm coming around, but because of the tuberose, I was really scared of this one, and I think that's what took me so long to get around to trying it. But the things that really stick out to me the most are Tonka bean, the almond, the cocoa, and the coffee. The florals are there, but on my skin, they're not the most pronounced. Mainly when you first spray it on in the opening, they are, but once it dries down, it settles beautifully on my skin. I get compliments every single time I wear this fragrance. People always stop me, they ask me what I'm wearing, and I really enjoy that a lot. And when I tell people what it is, they're actually really surprised, because especially at work, people know that I wear some pretty funky stuff. So the fact that it's something that you can just pick up at like Ulta is a big surprise to them. I do have a few friends who wear this, and it is still a fairly popular fragrance. So if you're one that doesn't want to smell like somebody else, the chance of running into someone who's wearing this, it's not super duper high like Flower Bomb was, but it's up there. It's up there. So just be aware of that. Regardless, it is still a gorgeous fragrance and it wears beautifully throughout the day. I get amazing wear time out of this one. I get a full day's wear. I'll put it on in the morning and it's still there in the evening when I get home from work. Projection on it is decent. Again, I do get stopped quite frequently and that's what I'm wearing. So there's a good sillage with this one. I wouldn't say that you fill up a room all day, but for the first few hours for sure, people definitely do take notice to what you're wearing. Pricing on this is pretty standard. I got the 1 ounce bottle here. Again, I did buy the smallest one and I regret it deeply. I think I paid 60 something dollars. It was 60, I think like 68 at Ulta. There were 2 other sizes as well. There was a 1.7 ounce bottle for $94, a 2.7 for $117. The next time going around, I'd probably get the 2.7 and just keep this one as my travel size, just because it is very small and convenient, very easy to carry. This isn't the most versatile fragrance. I wouldn't say that you could wear it as like a job interview or like if you worked in a clinical setting. Fortunately, I can wear it whenever, wherever, because I don't work with people who have allergies. Because of how much depth this fragrance has, it really makes me think of like the cooler weather, snuggling up. So like winter, fall, maybe early spring, date night especially. It is a very, as I said earlier, sexy fragrance, very feminine fragrance. So I can't see a lot of guys going for this. I'm sorry, fellas, but it's just very intriguing because it's a really nice play on cocoa, tonka bean, coffee, and white florals, and it's not something that I had in my collection, which is definitely why I had to add it in. And I feel like for a designer fragrance, it's blended beautifully. I don't know why some people have issues with this. It doesn't smell like a Me Too fragrance. I don't have anything in my collection that smells like it, to be honest, and I haven't smelled anything like this before. I wouldn't say it's the most groundbreaking thing ever, but compared to some of the other things that are in like Ulta or Sephora at the moment, I feel like this is definitely one that stands out among that crowd, especially for a designer fragrance. Just as a little side note, you guys know that I am like the queen of overspraying. I am notorious for going deep with some sprays. I'm talking like 10, 12 at a time. This stuff is very potent. And again, I have a lot of fragrances in my collection, but I find myself reaching for this one quite often. It's one of my go-to designer fragrances at the moment, just because it's still on the market and I know I can buy more of it and I really enjoy it. But when I wear this, I only put on about 4 to 5 sprays. So for me, that's like nothing. If any of you guys have watched me for a while, this stuff is like potent, and it lasts like crazy. I've seen some comments from people saying that it's like nuclear, gives them a headache and all that, but perhaps you're just spraying a little too much. Cut it back a few and you'll probably enjoy it a little bit. I wouldn't recommend this as a blind buy. I really feel like you should try this one out, again, because of the mixed reviews that I hear about it. But if you are at all into deep, rich fragrances with florals in them, then it's definitely one to check out if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, you know where to put them. Until next Friday, guys. Bye.